JR tells us it'll be a controversial night. Speaking of controversy, JR, here's Vince McMahon. He comes out to silence because this is before No Chance, but he doesn't need music because he comes out to a chorus of boos. Vince snatches the mic and immediately he's being drowned out by the fans. They're booing him, they're chanting Austin, but honestly it works in McMahon's favor because you really get to appreciate just how hated he is. I feel immediately transported back to the Attitude Era when 3 minutes into the episode they zoom in on a Vince sucks a fat one sign. The good old days. We then get what can only be described as a bizarre clip show where McMahon reviews the last few episodes of Raw to get us up to speed on the story. Kane defeated Mankind for #1 contendership to Stone Cold's WWF title. But wait, it wasn't Kane at all. It was The Undertaker. Could this mean that Kane and Undertaker are in cahoots? This is the go-home show before Fully Loaded 1998, which has Austin and Undertaker versus Kane and Mankind for the tag titles. So all night Austin knows he's got to team with Undertaker, but doesn't know if he can trust him. Sound familiar? Here in 2023, the Can They Coexist tag team storyline has been done to death. But I'm cool with it in 1998. Anyway, after several more clips with more damning evidence that Undertaker and Kane are in fact in cahoots, McMahon decides to just call Undertaker out and ask him. But Vince actually already asked the same question to Undertaker the week before, and got this answer.
You can go to hell.
But I'm sure it'll go better this time. Vince isn't mad, he's disappointed. He acknowledges that he's already asked Undertaker if he's in cahoots with Kane, and even says that Undertaker's reply that night hurt his feelings. Oh, poor Vinnie Mac. So one more time he asks Undertaker, are you in fact in cahoots with your brother Kane? Let's see how Taker responds this week. Well, at least he didn't hurt Vince's feelings this time. Vince also sets up a match in the main event. Undertaker versus Mankind and Kane in a handicap match to find out if the brothers are in cahoots or not. You're an evil genius, Vince. Well, except for...
Oh! A choke slam! A choke slam!
Oh, and I don't know how planned this was, but Vince is getting out of the ring and he just kind of falls on Patterson, and then Vince gets up and just stomps him. Love it. Time for the first match, and it's a pretty big one. Triple H with China is coming out to defend his European title. He plays with his water bottle and does his "Are you ready" thing, and then calls JR fat for no reason. D'Lo Brown is the challenger, and he's with the current Intercontinental Champion, The Rock. And I just have to take a moment to bask in the glory that is July 1998. Stone Cold is the champ, The Rock is the Intercontinental champ, and Triple H is the European champ. That's a stacked lineup right there. The Nation of Domination is feuding with DX, so we've got 2 title matches tonight. Triple H defends the European title against D'Lo Brown, and later on The Rock defends the Intercontinental title against X-Pac. The following Sunday is a champion versus champion match with The Rock facing Triple H in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And I do feel like the champion versus champion hype kind of gives away the fact that no one is losing their titles tonight. D'Lo does a lot of showboating and pays for it, then gets clobbered out of the ring, then punched out by China. D'Lo seems to be having some trouble getting the crowd to react. He steals the DX suck it taunt and no one seems to care. But they react when Triple H turns it around with the knee. Even way back in 1998, you should never try to back body drop Triple H. JR perhaps getting a little vengeance for that fat joke earlier.
Hit right in the nose there, and how could you miss it?
The Rock gets involved, but China puts a stop to that, and Rock gives one of his trademark over-the-top sells. Here comes Mark Henry, and China steps in again to hold him off. D'Lo apparently learned nothing from that whole never try to back body drop Triple H situation. But Rock bottom with the referee's back turned, and a 1, a 2, 3? Wow, so I really thought there was no way Triple H would lose the title before the champion versus champion matchup Fully Loaded. So this was a fun surprise. The match itself was really nothing, but it told the story of faction warfare well and makes DX look like the underdogs now that the Nation has one-upped them here big time. I can't stay mad at you, D'Lo. Look how happy he is. Oh no! I have to admit, I've never seen Brawl for All. I've heard all the hot takes, and I'm gonna say something controversial. Brawl for All? Not as bad as I was expecting. From everything I've heard, I was expecting it to look like an elementary school playground fight, and to be fair, it's a couple steps up from that. Was it good? No. They call it a ref stoppage, but it really looks like Eye Patch Guy just kinda quits, which I'm sure was pretty damaging to his career. I'm not blaming him either, because he took some pretty vicious shots. These guys don't have a boxing or MMA background, and they don't really know how to protect themselves. So yeah, not terrible, but just kind of sad.
No other federation would ever even dare put their athletes in this environment.
Well, yeah? Moving right along, Val Venus made a porno video with Yamaguchi-san's wife. I love how they're clearly just blurring out the bed sheets. Yamaguchi-san scolds his wife for cheating on him, and King tells us, well, I'm gonna let him explain it.
Japanese women are supposed to be subservient to their husbands.
Oh boy. At the top of the show, we saw some of the best parts of the Attitude Era. The focus on story, taking the time to build each night's main event and main characters. Now we see the worst of the Attitude Era. Everyone who isn't white has to be in a faction about how they're not white. I get none of this is supposed to be taken too seriously. It's just the kind of thing that if your wife or girlfriend walks in while you're watching, it's kind of embarrassing. Val Venus makes the save, and it is pretty funny watching him whack everyone with the butt paddle. Eat your heart out, American Badass Undertaker. This whole faction rides to the ring on motorcycles. It's Skull with the Disciples of the Apocalypse versus Animal of the Legion of Doom. The tag teams are facing off at Fully Loaded, so this is the classic singles match before the tag match. Animal just looks kind of dumb here because the Disciples of the Apocalypse came out first with the entire crew, and Animal just comes out by himself, like he didn't even consider the possibility that there might be interference in this match. I guess he didn't watch the European title fight earlier tonight. So the DOA jump Animal and the match never even happens. Hawk finally comes out when it's obviously too late and he gets beat up too. A segment that makes the babyfaces look dumb is not a good segment. Wow, Jeff Jarrett has been doing that guitar thing for a long time. It's Jeff Jarrett versus Steve Blackman up next. I remember as a kid really liking Steve Blackman. He never had much personality, but there was just something badass about him. Kind of unique style in the ring. Blackman realizes he's outnumbered and brings out Ken Shamrock for backup. I hate to harp on this, but the fact that this segment happened right after Animal being in the same situation and getting jumped just makes Animal look even dumber. Oh, blink and you'll miss it. This match is slightly over 2 minutes long, and Double J never really gets anything going. As Blackman celebrates, Ken Shamrock gets attacked by his fully loaded opponent, Owen Hart. Blackman looks cool, and we even sneak in a little pay-per-view hype. Back to the main event intrigue, Undertaker is leaving the building? Could it be because he doesn't want to fight Kane because he's in cahoots? But who cares, because the glass broke and it's Stone Cold Steve Austin. JR asks Austin what's on his mind headed into Fully Loaded. Then Austin just tells JR he's got bad breath for no reason. Austin says he doesn't care who's in cahoots, he'll beat all three of them and win the tag titles himself. Vince comes out and tells Austin that actually it'll be Stone Cold versus Kane and Mankind in a handicap match tonight, or he'll strip Austin of the WWF title. Ugh, is that a hair in the ring? I really liked this segment, and it was a surprise change to the main event. It was short and sweet, and was Austin at his best. The crowd was losing their minds by the end. Oh, but I wish everyone would lay off JR. And you'd be forgiven if you didn't realize that Owen Hart is the Nation of Domination, and Farouk is the babyface. Fans start calling Owen Hart a nugget. I'm a little afraid to Google what that means. Apparently, DX told Owen Hart that he was the last nugget of crap that wouldn't flush down the toilet since he was the last Hart family member in the WWF. That's good, I like it. Jeez, this match has been all Owen Hart. I mean, literally almost the entire match. Anytime Farouk does a cool move, it doesn't last long. Boom! Yeah, never mind, Farouk fell on his bottom. Bro, just reach out and touch the ropes. They're right there. He tapped out. And finally, Ken Shamrock shows up. Owen runs off, and that's the end of that. We just watched Farouk get bludgeoned for 6 minutes. By Attitude Era standards, 6 minutes is a marathon match on Raw, and I don't know why they gave it so long because it was so one-sided. Owen did a good job of playing off the crowd calling him a nugget, but it's not like it ever led to him getting distracted and Farouk getting the upper hand. There was just not a lot of meat on this bone. Mankind says he's glad he's fighting Austin tonight because kicking Austin's teeth in gives him a sense of inner peace, and he's predicting a very peaceful night. Very nice. Mark Marrow is already well into his decline from potential future of the company to Jacqueline's valet. Jacqueline and Sable are facing off in a bikini contest at Fully Loaded, so you know what that means. There's a lot of calling each other a cow, a pig. All the major barnyard animals are covered. You've also got tramp, hoe, skank. Can't have a bikini contest without repeatedly calling your opponent a skank. Anyway, Jacqueline takes Sable's clothes off for some reason, and the segment ends. I was never really into Sable, but I have to admit, she looks good here. That Brock Lesnar is a lucky guy. What? Pre-brewed Edge attacks Mark Marrow while we're all staring at Sable. I honestly didn't know there was a pre-brewed Edge. This whole segment was really just an excuse to get Sable in a bikini, so... Shawn Michaels is here to announce for some reason. Yeah, the fans are happy to see him. Apparently he did the same last week too. We take another look at Brawl for All that took place before Raw started. This fight actually seems a little more interesting than the one we got on Raw. 8-Ball gasses himself in round 1 and ends up losing, so oh good, he's fighting on pay-per-view this Sunday, and he just lost a match to a guy who will be in the job squad soon. Out comes The Rock and the accompanying Rocky Sucks chants. Out comes DX, and we've got Chaos in the ring before a commercial break.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah!
Oh no. During the commercial, both factions were cleared from ringside, but for some reason, Chyna's allowed to come back? To answer your question, no, they never really explained why. We finally get an actual good match. When Owen Hart faced Farouk, I thought, oh, this'll be good, and it wasn't. But I thought the same thing with Rock and X-Pac, and this one delivers the goods. Great looking people's elbow and a kick out. Very nice, X-Pac. Then we get an X Factor that they don't call an X Factor. And a kick out. Great hope spot though. Apparently X-Pac used this move to pin The Rock the week before. Chyna hits The Rock with the belt for another big hope spot and another kick out. The Rock is looking like $1 million. It's kind of weird having the good guys cheat and the bad guys show the fortitude to keep fighting, but I think it works. DX would be dumb not to cheat after what happened with Triple H and D'Lo earlier, and The Rock is supposed to be tough, so I like it. Ref bump and D'Lo comes out with Triple H close behind. I swear, D'Lo has some of the best facial expressions. Pedigree on The Rock, and I know I'm not supposed to think about it this much, but this is a heroic act of friendship on Triple H's part. If X-Pac wins the title here, then Trips can't win it for himself at Fully Loaded. What a nice guy that Triple H is. Ugh, the ending is awful. So the ref is counting after the pedigree, and then another ref comes out and stops him, and then disqualifies X-Pac for interference. Another ref just took it upon himself to run out and stop the match? That's not a thing that happens. JR says that The Rock has outsmarted DX on this night, and that's just not true. I really liked this match, but they say people only remember the finish. So, HBK, you excited about Fully Loaded this Sunday?
Can't wait to be there.
You just sound sarcastic. Anyway, back to the important stuff. Triple H gets some chick in the crowd to flash him. This was probably staged, but I actually liked it anyway because it's the kind of random thing that makes Raw feel like a show where anything can happen. It's a party.
It was fast!
Really, Kane looks so cool. The glass breaks and Austin just immediately whacks Mankind with the belt. I love it. He's a babyface, but he just don't give a single damn. Mankind gets right up, which would annoy me if it was anyone else but Mankind. Austin knocks Kane out of the ring and the crowd goes wild. He looks so intense in this match as he uses every possible means to win. There goes Kane into the steps. Austin gets caught talking to Mankind here. Mankind goes for a pre-Socko mandible claw, Well, he should have used the sock. Right when I'm starting to think this is a ridiculously one-sided handicap match with Austin dominating the whole time, Mankind and Kane finally turn it around. Undertaker comes out with a chair and... ooh, are we finally going to find out if he's in cahoots with Kane? Sort of. It seems clear he's about to hit Austin with the chair, but accidentally hits Kane. Then Austin whacks everybody, including The Undertaker. This was a good setup for the pay-per-view. It looks like Austin and Taker won't be able to coexist, but Austin looks badass enough that maybe he can beat all three of them. I still don't love that Fully Loaded doesn't have a WWF title match, but this isn't a Fully Loaded review, so this segment was... so what do I rate the episode as a whole? Well, as the go-home show before a pay-per-view, I suppose the main question is, did it hype me up for Fully Loaded? And the answer is...
oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah!
What? No. It did not hype me up for the pay-per-view. But to be fair, Fully Loaded seems to be a pretty forgettable show, so maybe that's not Raw's fault. The European title change was a nice surprise, and the main event was a lot of fun. If only the Intercontinental match hadn't had such an awful ending. So I award the July 20th, 1998 episode of Raw a final grade of... Hey, this was my first video, so if you liked it, please like and subscribe. You could even leave a comment saying, hey, great job on your first video, and that would make my day. You could do that. Thank you for watching. By the way, Undertaker and Kane were in cahoots, though it's not revealed until well after Fully Loaded. That begins the whole Brothers of Destruction thing, and it turns out they're both working for Vince McMahon. Actually, a lot like the higher power storyline that happens later when you think about it.